It's such a beautiful day today that I am testing out our balcony. As you can see, it is not quite finished yet. In fact, we started work on this last year and this is our project this summer to get this finished. But I've got to say the view from here is amazing.
So just look at this view, isn't it amazing? But back to more practical things. This week we have been really busy with our library and the bookcase has really come along, and I've also got my bolster cushion finished, finally. So let's head inside and I'll show you what we've been up to.
So it's finally time for me to start making my bolster cushion. And if you remember, I have it here. My cushion filler I bought a while ago and it's taken me this long to actually make it. So today I'm going to actually make it and get it on the bed. So I've decided to use a couple of different materials. I'm going to use my red twill for the main body of the cushion. I think I'm going to use my neutral stripe for the ends. And then I'm just going to do my piping in the neutral colour, just to give it a little bit of contrast. So I have my sewing machine ready and I am going to start work. So I just finished my first piping, I'm all excited. And then I realised I need two. One at either end of the bolster. So I gotta go back to cutting material and making another one. And then I can start putting it together. So I've sewn all my pieces together and now's the moment of truth to turn it inside out and see if it's worked. And I'm always so nervous when I turn things the right way around to see whether my sewing has worked. And, oh, it's looking like a bolster cushion. So I've got the red tulle in the middle and then I've got my edges. My piping has come out quite nicely. So the next thing is to put my cushion in. So let's see if I can get this, hopefully it fits. That's my other worry, is did I measure right? So let's see. I'm sure there's a very technical way of doing this, but I'm just going with the basic shove it in the... So far, so good. So, now I've got my basic shape. The next thing is to pull my ends together, and then I'm putting a covered button on the end. So, yeah, I think it's gonna look quite good. So I've got my ends now all tied up and it's looking good. My last piece is my buttons, and I've never done this before, but I covered these buttons in my material, and then I have a very large upholstery needle, and I'm actually going to put the needle all the way through the center of my cushion so it comes out the other end, and you can now see kind of how my button's gonna look. Don't you? I think it's really good. So I've just got to attach the other one on the other end, and I can get these sewn on and I can get it upstairs.
Our other big project this week has been transforming our Ikea bookcase into a traditional fitted bookcase for our library.
I have my production line here of all my shelves from the bookcase upstairs in the library. And I've done the first coat on the bookcase upstairs and I'm about to do the second coat today. But I brought all the shelves downstairs because I thought it was a little easier for me to get them all painted. But I'm really, really pleased, I can show you on this one, how these are looking with just one coat. I'm gonna put two coats on. And I'm actually doing them all by brush. I know that some people will probably think I'm a little crazy and that I should use a roller. And we actually discussed that because we thought about whether it was a good idea to use a roller, but we really want them to have some character. We don't want the shelves to be absolutely perfect and, you know, too much of a modern, clean feel. We want it to have some character, and so having a few little brush strokes wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. So we've decided to go with the using the brush, which I actually really like. I think that it kind of, I feel like it's going to add a little bit more character to them. So all I've got to do now is just finish my second coat on this, which is the underside of the bookcase. Or my first coat, I guess, on this side, and then I'll do a second coat, and then we'll put a couple of coats of clear coat on the top, just to protect the paint, but also to stop wear, because with books being moved in and out of the bookcase, I don't want the paint to kind of wear down. So we're going to put a clear top coat on top to protect it, and these will all be ready to go upstairs into the library.
So with the bookcase now all painted, it was time for us to add the trim, and we had to be a little bit creative with our baseboard so we could snugly fit the trim up against the wall. But it worked really well, and we were able to put the trim up so it looks like the bookcase is fitted into the wall. We added the piece of chair rail as part of the finishing touches, and the end result was a bookcase that's starting to look like a traditional library.
So these are the lights that we have for our bookcase in our library. But you can see from this one, they came with these plates on the back, which are beautiful, but we're putting them on the bookcase and this plate is too wide. So we've actually done a little bit of MacGyvering, and we've actually taken the plate off. So you can see here that instead of having the plate, it's actually going to go straight into the bookcase. And I will show you here what that's going to look like. So you can see here our bookcases, and so it's going to come directly out of the trim here. I can't reach, it's too high, but up there where you can see the hole is. So it's going to be a really nice feature. We're going to have two of them. So they'll look like this, but obviously without the back plate, because what we've done is, you can see here, we've actually added these trims. So on the bookcase, we painted it up and we wanted it to look really fitted, like a fitted bookcase. So we've actually made these, Stephen made these trims, and we've added these in between each of the pieces of the bookcase, and then we've added in one at the end, and we've put a nice cap casing on this end. So we will eventually have one on the top and on the bottom, so it will really look like a fitted bookcase. So that's our project for next week, but we're waiting for the bottom piece until we actually stain the floors, which will be in the next couple of days. So the bookcase is looking really good, and we're really pleased with how it's come together, and I can't wait to get some books on it. So we're just putting up our lights and trying them for the first time on our bookcase, and we're actually MacGyvering it a little bit, because we've taken a piece off the back of the light, so it will actually fit on this center piece on the shelf. But I think it looks fantastic. So Stephen's going to secure them. We're obviously not going to just leave it put in like that, but it's going to look really cool. We're going to have two of them, one on each side, and they will sit on the bookcase. So my bolster cushion is finally finished, and I have to admit I'm very pleased. I think the ends look great with the stripe and my buttons, let's put it in the middle there, and I think it's the final touch. I think it's perfect for the bed with the other cushions, and I think it just adds that little extra, which is very special. So this area in the bed and the curtains are here is all finished, which is fantastic. So now I can move on to making curtains for the library. So next week I'll be able to show you a little bit more about that. And next week is really exciting because we have some really big news about our summer market. I know I mentioned that a few weeks ago and I've not released much information yet, but next week we are going to be releasing all the information about how you can get tickets, what the details, the amazing vendors that we have, and we have some amazing vendors, trust me. You will not want to miss that. So tune in next week and you'll find out more information about that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back to work because I've got a library to finish, and I will see you on our next episode of the Ladysmith Manor Diaries.